Right, okay, so I actually really need your help because as you know, anyone watching this channel, I mainly play Russia because it just clicks, I get along with Russia and it works well. What I don't do well is America, and that's something I want to improve, all these star-spangled banners. Right, okay, so I've built a couple of decks before with America that I've had, you know, decent games, but nothing amazing. This one's my Sneaky Beaky. As you can see, it has got a lot of Recon Infantry. That's actually quite strong, so that's what I've got there. As you can see, it's called Sneaky. I've put the U's basically just to space out the Russian American flags. I suppose I could have done that, but I like the defaults being out the way. I've got this, which is called the Double Nuke, and you can guess why. 2 nukes. The deck itself is okay, nothing amazing. Now, the deck I really want to... I just want to come up with a balanced, nice deck that I can play a bit like Russia, but obviously I understand you have to play different playstyles, but closer to the mark, something that I get along better with. And this is what I've come up with, and genuinely, I really need your help. So please, comment what I should change, what works well, what doesn't work well. I would love to hear it, because you'd actually be doing me a massive favor. So we'll start with the Recon tab. What I've got is snipers. Now these are non-negotiable for me. I love having snipers out at the start. Humvees are super cheap, actually like amazingly cheap. They're rapid as well, which is great, faster than VDV Typhoons. So get them out into early positions is crucial for me. Obviously there's absolutely no point putting any weapons on the Humvee really, nor the armor, just slows it down, and I mean barely gives it any more armor. The snipers, I could give it the 50. Obviously, cheeky little rifle that is. Interestingly, actually, the backblast of the 50, where is it? Here it is. That, you can actually feel it on your face when this thing goes off, even if you're standing behind the shooter, which I've done before. So, yeah, big boy rifle. And it is represented that it does a lot of damage. 4.3 with 20 penetration is pretty good for a sniper. I think I'll just keep it like this because I don't want the snipers to really engage. I just want them to be my eyes and ears. But I don't know, maybe the 50 does work really well. Let me know. I've also got this Humvee with some extended vision. I don't think I probably won't use this. I've put some smoke on it just because it's only 5 points. But yeah, I don't know about this vehicle. It's 60 points, probably a waste of space. Don't know. Now, the Cavalry Scouts, these are cool because they've only got rifles. They're a bit, you know, standard M4 American assault rifle. But the Javelin's where it counts. Now, what I don't get, though, is a Javelin is fire and forget, but the game treats it as terminal guidance, which is annoying. And you know what? Obviously, a top attack is better, but you can actually set Javelins to direct fire. So that minus that 200 minimum range is unrealistic. But whatever, not to get too sidetracked. I have Cavalry Scouts in there just for the Javelin. But thinking about it, I actually have Javelins in here, and 2 of them, so I'm not sure what the point of the Cavalry Scouts is. I guess they have better vision and better stealth than the other squad. Now, to transport them is this bit of kit, which I like a lot, because it's got 2000 vision, it's got a bit of stealth, not much. It looks cool, that's for sure. It looks especially good in the you know, the 80s American Army paint scheme. It looks even better like that. I've put the maximum armor on it. I'll show you because obviously default armor is paper thin. Protection system, APS, and a better engine, because without it, it's going to be going painfully slow. So you do unfortunately need to splash out and get that improved engine. Now, to support the Recon tab, I also have these drones. So this little classic American bomb everything you see from, you know, a lot of these drones are operated from bunkers in America. Obviously this is an American drone, so yeah, a bunker in America, and he'll be launching like a rain of death from the sky in his nice safe little bunker bloody miles away. Anyway, obviously I have put Hellfires on it just to deal with any mass infantry pushes. This thing is super weak, so I do expect it to get shot down. But hey, it's very cheap, especially for 4 Hellfires. Next is the Global Hawk, which is huge, especially for a drone. It's got a jet engine, which is rare for a drone. Usually they're propellers, like this one. Anyway, yeah, obviously that vision is fantastic, and that is why I have it. That's the Recon tab. Onto the Infantry. Pair of Stingers, which is fantastic because you want them in pairs, because the first one is most likely going to miss due to ECM or flares, chaff and flares. So that's why 2 is really good. And obviously they've got 3 each, which is also really good. I do like the double manpad Stinger or Verba, not Verba, Eagler squads. And they're going to be brought in a Humvee. Only one, just because I can't afford another one. But it is just a little taxi for the team. So yeah, the next team, which is a much bigger team, is this weapon squad, like I said. So I think these guys are airborne. Well, I know they're airborne. And they are fantastic with 2 javelins. Again, like I said, same principle. These javelins are still terminal guidance, which again, they're fire and forget in reality. But whatever. Couple of machine guns as well is good for suppressing fire. So actually, it's still a decent infantry squad. It's just got javelins, which I like. So far so good. Interesting that Americans put scrim, this fluffy bit, and what, face cam cream? No way, face paint cam cream we call it. Yeah, and these helmets look very similar to ours as well. They look like Virtus helmets, so I wonder if they are the same. But anyway, stay concentrated. Didn't realize Americans put scrim on their helmets. Usually have it clean, but anyway, maybe it's just an airborne thing. 101st Airborne, you know, Band of Brothers, all that. Anyway, this is my main infantry, so obviously 7 squads. That's a lot. I don't have a lot of variety, but I don't think I need it. Like, I don't need a couple of 50s for suppressing fire, though. Maybe that is actually quite good. Maybe that's something I should get. What do you guys think? Let me know. The other squads available, I just don't think are as good. Toes, I don't get along with them. They just don't really do it for me. They're alright, but I'd rather have a pair of javelins. So, wait, pair of javelins here. So I don't see the point. It is cheap though, to be fair. That is quite cheap. So maybe I should get those as well. Let me know. You know what? I'll do that now. I'll put a couple of squads in their little on foot, actually. Cool. And that brings me closer to the mark. So, live, updating this live. What's the extended range? And it's the same range, it just goes top down, but then it's a bit slower. Okay, so the airborne are solid infantry. They've got, interestingly, the 6.8mm, which I thought the NATO standard's obviously either 5.56 or 7.62, but they're both 6.8, which is interesting. I didn't think they'd do that, but I suppose it is like the next gen loadout. Obviously, the standard one is 5.56 across the board, 5.56 by 45. But this launcher is deadly. It is very, very good. Unfortunate that there's only one of them. They'd be a bit overpowered if there was more, to be honest. But yeah, this launcher is a fantastic bit of kit. The Mars. Don't know what NGWS stands for. Oh, next generation weapons, right? NGW it should be. Anyway, but yeah, this is a good team, and I'm happy having 6 of them. Honestly, good airborne. Added benefit that you can drop them out of a plane, but I don't have a transport plane, so that's not going to happen. Vehicles. These Humvees, again, I don't have too much success with the tow, but clearly here you get, it's 45 points for a tow launcher, which is good, as opposed to this one, which is 65 points, but you only get one of it. But also infantry takes slightly longer to kill than a Humvee. Although I've had a tank fire 2 shells into a Humvee to kill it. Like, as if it can survive 1 shell. I mean, yeah. Not sure where it takes 2 shots from a tank to kill it. Anyway, further, I've got tanks. So, the SEP V2, again, just looks so much better in this 80s paint scheme than this paint scheme. That's really boring. I'm used to more seeing them in desert, because obviously that's where America and Britain have been involved mainly in the past couple of decades. Anyway, yeah, I thought I'd go for this SEP as opposed to this one, because obviously if you want it the same level of protection, oh, Vanguard paints, America, nice. It's a bit more expensive, and the armor is marginally better, and you get 4 of them. Obviously, it's 30 points difference, but when you think about it, the penetration's slightly better as well. Woof. Penetration. But yeah, there's really not much difference between them. And then 30 points isn't a lot, but across 4 tanks, that's like 120. Okay, yeah, obviously it'd be 2 and 2, but yeah, I'd rather this setup. These are, I thought they were a lot faster than they are, but they're actually the same speed as the Abrams. Not sure, you know, a name like Thunderbolt, you'd expect them to be rapid. Is that because of the armor? Nope. But yeah, I like the reactive, the APS rather, and this upgraded gun just to give them that bit more fire support, because when the guns are not upgraded, it is a bit weak. So yeah, it's worth to upgrade it. Just kind of a couple of these as cheap options to back these boys up. Now these, I've not had much success with them, but I think they're pretty fun to use. Yeah, obviously it's a mine clearing vehicle. Mick-click, but whatever, Mick-click. It is just an Abrams converted into this. Oh, here's another thing about the Abrams I don't get. That's a massive, massive vulnerable spot. Like, why do Americans build tanks with such a huge gap? Like, basically you can fit an entire double-decker bus in that gap. Yeah, making it super vulnerable, because if a shell or literally a grenade, like anything goes here, that's going to at least kill the driver and potentially do damage to the gun and the front, you know. So why on earth do they have such a wide opening at the neck? I mean, that is literally huge. You can see it from a mile away. But yeah, that's what I don't like about American tanks as well, is that the side armor is paper thin. I don't think the upgrade is really worth it, in my opinion, because 180 compared to 120 isn't a big difference. 600 to 250 is better, but you also lose 10 speed, which I'm not willing to do. So yeah, tanks are supposed to be used held back at long open frontal battles. That's what tanks are designed for, and that's how they should be used, and that's what I like to do as well. So that's my vehicles tab. Support. Now, Americans in general, whenever I play against America, they bring a shit ton of Patriots. I've only got one, and potentially maybe I should sub out one Shorad for a Patriot instead. But yeah, this is my air defense. I've got 2 fighters as well, which we'll go into later, which help me deal with enemy aircraft, etc. 4 bits of Shorad. Now I've put the Hellfires on them. These are basically going to back up my tanks, obviously go along forwards of the front line, which is why they definitely need the improved armor. Doesn't make them any slower, but already painfully slow to be fair, but it does give them a few more hit points, 3 more. So I do like this. It is quite good at dealing with helicopters. I've only been playing it with the Stingers. The Stingers are effective. The Hellfires, I'm not sure. But it's also interesting that these Hellfires can fire at helis, whereas Hellfires from other helis, like the Apache, they cannot target. They cannot target other helicopters, which is weird because they are literally. I mean, look at it. It's the exact same missile, literally. So yeah, even with that warning label. Same warning label, look. Anyway, it's the same missile, but I'm not sure why I can't do that. Bit of balancing in the game, perhaps. But yeah, so I thought I'd try the Hellfire just so I can deal with armoured vehicles as well. Back up my tanks. Right, these, the Iron Thunders. I mean, why doesn't America just have better names? Paladin, Iron Thunder. Not a fan of those, but whatever, it's subjective. I've got them up armored. So first of all, obviously I've got the upgraded range because you go from 4,300, which is good, but it's not exceptional, to 5,000, which is very, very good range. And they're all laser guided. You do get more shells in this setup, but the range is important. Size does matter. The length of your barrel, whatever she might tell you, does matter, and I like to have the biggest barrel in the room. Now I've gone for the extra armor because you obviously don't really need it, but it's only 10 points. You get an extra 2 hit points, and you get a tiny bit more armor, which basically makes your tank, your arty, more survivable in case the enemy does manage to get off counter batteries in time before you moved it. Which you obviously you want to move your arty every time you fire. And only fire the short bursts, don't fire the medium or long. Because you will get counter batteried. But yeah, like, what I mean is that I have the extra armor for the extra hit points, just in case they get lucky and manage to catch me off guard. So there we are. Go Army, beat Navy. Never noticed that that was written on the barrel before, but cool feature. MTV, good amount of supply, good bit of kit. Not much else to say. Better than this thing, which is just too slow, to be honest. You want your supplies quick. Avengers. Now, I know it's the Avenger, but I like calling it Avengers. I've had a lot of fun with these, a lot of success. They just work, they're brilliant, they're rapid, they are fantastic. Again, I've upgraded the armor, but only for the smoke. Because obviously if you're caught out in the open, you want to smoke, and hopefully get some backup before you get destroyed. You definitely want it on the double stinger pods, because then it fires 2 missiles almost at the same time instead of 1. And you still get your 50 cal. That is a 50, isn't it? Yeah, 12.7, 12.5, that's 50 cal, 50 BMG. Other units that I think are quite good is the Brutus. I think this is fantastic. It's also super quick, obviously. Yeah, 70 compared to 95. People say there's only like, oh, there's only 10 or 20 kilometers an hour difference, but obviously here it's 25, but it does make a huge difference. Now, unfortunately with this, you only get 18 shells, and you don't get a mix of shells either, so you can only go smoke, only high explosive, only cluster, only guided rounds. It's interesting that smoke rounds do 1 bit of damage actually, because yeah, the explosion would be, if it goes off next to your face, that's gonna ruin your day, to say the least. These things I think are quite cool because they're, again, rapid, but and the range really isn't too bad. How many shells do you get? 20. More than the Brutus then. Cluster rounds, which is a win, and they aim a bit quicker, don't they? No, it's the same aiming time. Yeah, but you get 6 of them anyway, which is a win. Which is definitely something to consider, because you can get obviously 6 of these instead of 3 of these. So that could be worth it. Yeah, maybe I'll try these out eventually. But the other guys, the PVADs is decent. I could get one of these out instead, but I don't think it's necessary. And the rest is just, yeah, it's not really worth it. That is quite quick aiming time though, to be fair. So, yeah, might be useful. And it's got smoke as well. And it's not that slow. But, yeah, I think I'm happy with this setup as it is. Now, helicopters. In this deck, I've only got the airborne helicopters, the paratroopers that we call them. And I've gone for Apaches. We've got them in Britain as well. Cool looking. I mean, it is quite ugly, but it's also very cool. And interestingly, you can actually get 2 passengers on it. You can get passengers sitting here, which has been done before, holding onto these arm holds. So they actually did that to try and rescue a soldier that unfortunately didn't make it. But yeah, interesting that you can actually put people on board the Apache on the wings. Extra pair of door gunners, perhaps. I thought that was the RAF Roundel for a second there. Anyway, I've put the Hydras. I don't think there's any point getting the guided rockets. They just, I don't know, they feel a lot slower to me. Are they terminal? No, they're direct shot as well. Okay. Either way, I prefer the Hydras. I don't know why. And obviously the Hellfires, which are, again, supposed to be fire and forget, but they're semi-active, which I think does mean fire and forget. But interestingly, though, on the Special Forces tab, I've noticed... Wait, Special Forces, is this one? On this one, on the Guardian, FNF stands for Fire and Forget, right? But on here, it says that they're Terminal Guidance, which absolutely does not make sense. So I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, back to my deck. Which one is it? Para Tank, I've called it. The range is also 100 meters longer on that Guardian Apache, but yeah, you'd much rather semi-active if that's what they call fire and forget. Again, Javelin is also fire and forget, as I said earlier. The Kiowa is interesting because it has a lot of ECM, like for such a you wouldn't expect it to have so much ECM, would you? But I guess these things do work, or maybe it's just a bit of balancing. But this is basically, as you can see, AA. It's my anti-helicopter setup. and they're very cheap, so they can take out those Russian alligators that cause so much havoc in your lines. I've got the Black Hawk. We do not want a Black Hawk down situation, but it is literally just for some troops and some cargo. I would not be taking it into battle. And again, I'm not sure where this ECM comes from. Like, where is it, for starters? And also, like, why does every helicopter have to have ECM? It doesn't really... I'm not sure if that makes sense. Not to me. I think, you know, you see a Black Hawk, the rocket will lock on and will hit it 99% of the time. Apart from, obviously, flares. So, yeah, whatever. Cool looking heli, though. Haven't been in one. But that's what I've got set up. I suppose Chinooks are super cool. I maybe should include that in my deck, but I don't have the points. I don't want to cut out another Apache because I like having 3 of them. Don't want to cut out the Kiowas either, so I don't know what to do. The longbow is cool. Okay, so he's got fire and forget here. Although the range is even shorter. Oh, because it arches top-down attack. I see. But what's it say? Terminal guidance as well. That's not how it should be. Anyway. That's why I prefer that Apache for the time being. It does have longer range, but I hope that I don't need the range. I'm expecting to be able to see what's coming already, and especially when the range of these Hellfires is 1,900 meters, 2 kilometer viewpoint is more than that. So hopefully, I don't need to upgrade it with the extra. Basically, I don't need to get the more expensive longbow. I'd rather have 3 of these than 2 of these, if that makes sense. Yeah, and that's how I've got my heli set up. Not sure if it's the best. Let me know. Let me know if you think anything else. Oh, a fun fact I forgot to say is I've been on a Chinook. Really cool, but you know what? Back there, well, you can actually put another 2 machine guns on it here, and another, usually you have one on the tail as well, so tail gunner. But it's actually really tight on the inside. You think they're massive, especially because of these wide bits, which I think is just fuel storage, but you think they're massive, but actually... they are tiny on the inside. If these guys are standing upright, not crouched, their heads, like your helmet does hit the ceiling if you're a tall bloke, which I am. So yeah, it's very cramped as well. With your bags and knees touching, that is not comfortable, especially not for 32 people. But what is good about these is obviously you can put a little medical room in there, a stretcher. You can probably get 3 stretchers across, and a MERT team, which is obviously the medical team. To heal troopers on the ground, which is really cool. That's what they're best for. That's what they were best used for in Afghan. Anyway, the air tab. So I've got 2 of these F-15 Eagles. They have got anti-air and anti-helicopter setup. So I could potentially switch this out for a longer missile. But I don't think I need to. And I think that these shorter range ones, they're just a bit more agile and better at hitting the target. Sidewinders is a non-negotiable for me because I love using these to take out helicopters, and that's what sidewinders are good for. Also, they can be fired short range at fighters, which is also very useful. So I quite like this setup. I'm not going to go for that, even though it's cheaper actually. It's definitely not something I'm going to go for. And I've got 2 of these that are actually pretty cheap, especially when Russian fighters cost a bit more usually. Although the ECM is quite low, but it makes sense. This plane was designed in the 70s and introduced in the either late 70s or early 80s, I can't remember. But the F-15 is actually quite an old aircraft. So yeah. Now, here's the other F-15, which is the Strike Craft setup. There's not actually much difference in the frames apart from this big bulge. Woof. Yeah, they are the same airframe basically. If anyone who knows the difference can tell me, that'd be great. Apart from the huge bulge. Is it fuel? Okay, it is just fuel. Yeah, cool. I've got this set up with cluster bombs. Now, I could put more stuff on it, obviously if I can afford it, and rejig some stuff, but I think I quite like just having the clusters. It might be worth, like, they are quite big. They're 1,000 pounds, which is 500 kilograms. And I could put these as well to do some extra damage, but I just want them to do a quick run, and that's it. Obviously, That has got high drag, so does a Snake Eye, so maybe it's something worth doing, but it does make the aircraft a fair amount more expensive, so I'm quite happy keeping it as it is. Now, this is my cruise missiles, because I've got none in the deck otherwise, and you get 8 of them here for quite a decent price again, and they are powerful. These things are very powerful. They've got a good blast radius as well, and good penetration. You get 8 of them, but I like to fire 4, then peel the aircraft off, do another loop, and then fire the other 4 to not get into range of enemy AA. So yeah, that's how I've got it set up. Now, the Herc is class. I love the Herc. It is fantastic. It just works as well. The new A400, which is designed to replace the Herc, is very good. It's very capable. It's a lot more powerful, but it breaks a lot because these old things, which again, the Herc is ancient. The Herc is probably from potentially even the 50s, you know. At least the design would be. But these were mechanical, very, you push this button, a mechanical button, you know, well, a mechanical thing will happen. Whereas the A400s with the Atlases, they are very fly-by-wire, very electronical dependent, and that actually grounds them a lot of the time, interestingly enough. T-17, yeah, it's massive. Can carry a tank or 2 tanks potentially in the back, which is very, very impressive. They haven't done the model here, but the cockpit, you climb up a ladder into there. Yeah, the C-17 is a good bit of kit, but I can't afford it. It would be potentially nice to put that in, but then I'd have to remove something, and it'd potentially be nice to put this in, but again, I just don't really see the need. I think this setup is decent. Now the A-10, I have a lot of love and respect for this plane. Obviously it's saved a lot of troops by that big iconic brrrr. But in game I've just had almost 0 success with it. The cannon is slightly off center. I think it's actually a bit more off center in real life, but whatever. I've just not had much success with it at all. From Fort Wayne. That is a lazy premium paint skin. I mean, just slightly darker. What's the point? That's a big difference. But it looks quite ugly. It looks good in its traditional Air Force grey. Anyway, I've just not had much success with it. And I think it gets shot down before it hits the target most of the time. But like I say, I love this plane. I've got a lot of respect for it, but I've just not had much use with it. And maybe that's because my setup's wrong, potentially. Maybe you just need 2 Mavericks. I don't really know. Like I said, America I am not very good with. I haven't been getting along with it too well. And unfortunately I've lost quite a few battles. And I find teammates leave when I play America more. And the teammates are a bit more useless usually. As in they're not actually teammates, they're just sort of players on your team. But yeah, what do you guys think? And like I said at the start, I genuinely am looking for help. I want a really good balanced American deck, but I'm struggling to find one that I actually enjoy using. And I don't want to be just an MLRS arty guy. I think that's really boring. It's doesn't, you know, supported players in general are just awful. Do not play support, guys. And if you're watching and you are a support player and you hate me for it, that's fine. I'm willing to live with that. But being a supportive only player is boring AF, and I hate that you can get 4 MLRSs in this in the armored deck. So yeah, that's, like I said, I actually want advice. If you've got something, please let me know in the comments. Or if you just actually like my setup, if you think it's decent, then, you know, shoot me a like. I'd appreciate that too. Well, that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.